Hey guys, welcome to the X-Ring. I have a pretty cool classic pistol for you guys today. It is called an HKP7. Now guys, I love my H&Ks. I think almost every serious collector should have a P7 or a P7 M8 or a P7 M13 or a P7 PSP in their collection. Guys, these have just skyrocketed in value. I've had a lot of these. I love these pistols. They are all steel. These things were first introduced somewhere around the late 70s, about 1979. And they first had the PSP model that had a heel release for the magazine in this area. Then they came out with a flush heel release like this. And guys, I do not claim to be an HK expert. If you want more information on the pistol, go to some place like HK Pro or something to figure that out. I just like these pistols. So what they did was they flushed the magazine release to here, okay? And then they came out with the P7 M8, which had a magazine release here, which is almost identical to like the USPs or like the VP9s, something like that. This is all steel construction. If you guys have never seen one of these, they call these squeeze cockers, okay? Because what you have to do in order to fire it, you have a dead trigger. It's always dead unless you squeeze this bar here, okay? And that's not anything new. You know, Smith & Wesson, a long time ago, they had, you know, the lemon squeeze, whatever. But this actually cocks the pistol when you squeeze this. So I'm going to squeeze it, and I want you guys to watch the firing pin here. When I squeeze that, that cocks the firing pin, and then now it's just light pressure on the trigger, and it will actually fire. This does not work off of a straight blowback system. This actually has a piston in it, so it's a delayed piston system. What I would consider sharper recoil when you shoot one of these, but the weight kind of negates some of that because it is all steel. I'm going to let you guys look at this. This was actually a police turn-in that was imported into the country. This was made in 1987. This one has a mark on it, NDS, which actually meant Lower Saxony. So some police officer carried this a long time ago, and then they started being imported in the United States. If you have one of these, try to hold on to it because they just keep getting higher and higher in price. You will see these range anywhere from $2,000 all the way up to about $4,000 depending on if it's special. They also made it in 40 caliber called a P7 M10. The P7 M13 has a double stack mag, higher capacity. I do love these pistols. They're very, very slim. They look a little blocky. They look a little antiquated, if you will, and they do rust. If you carry one of these concealed and you have it up against your skin, you're going to need to wipe this thing down like weekly, okay? Because if you don't, you're going to develop rust in this area, surface rust. You'll also have rust start developing here in this area on the slides. Now, as far as the gun itself, it is chambered in 9mm. This holds 8 in the magazine. 1 in the chamber would be 9 rounds. It has a fluted chamber, just like your H&K MP5s. It aids with extraction, any debris or anything like that. It also has polygonal rifling. Say that a bunch of times real fast. So Glock was not the one that introduced polygonal rifling. They were doing that back in the late 70s. This pistol cost a lot to manufacture. It was a lot, and it was very expensive on the price point to be able to equip the bullseye with these pistols, but very, very reliable. They're very accurate pistols. So what we'll do is we'll do some shooting with it. I've got Rick here with his 6 covered. He's never touched one of these before. So we're going to let him shoot it.
Let's get to shooting already.
Yeah, we will. I'm trying to hurry, but I want to tell him about the pistol. It also has an extractor here. But guys, the pistol will fire without the extractor. It will eject the case out without the extractor just because of the gas in the system. So let's get to shooting it. I know I've talked enough. Let's go.
I got enough gas for it.
All right, guys, so for today's test, we're going to be using Defender 124 grain round nose. Big thanks, big shout out to Defender Ammunition. If you're interested in buying any of their products, just go to Defender Ammunition, put X-Ring in the coupon code, and that will give you a discount.
Of 5%.
5%. Woo! All right, so let's get this thing hot. Let's go ahead and gas it up. We're ready to go. Watch this. I'm going to pull the trigger. Nothing happens. I have to hold this squeeze cocker back. So let's see how it does. We'll go for the plate rack nice and slow. We are at about 16 yards here.
Man,
not too bad. I missed one, but hey, it was off to the left just a little bit. We'll do the man steel, and then let's watch this reload. We'll do man steel right, headshot. We're empty. All I have to do is take the magazine out, insert a new magazine, because if you guys noticed, there was no slide release, slide stop here. All I have to do is squeeze the cocking mechanism. I'm hot, ready to go. Very, very fast cyclic rate on these pistols. Now, New Jersey State Police, I believe it was, or New Jersey State Troopers, they used to carry these. It was a very popular pistol. And one of the downsides, they said, well, if I was walking through a warehouse and I thought I had something, and then now I needed to decock because I wasn't going to shoot anything, it gave away your position. There is a trick. A lot of people know this trick, but if you cock it, there is actually a little lever right here. You can press that lever and silent decock. Looking at the right side, you see it's all nice, clean. If you look on the left side, you're going to see one little button here. And watch it, Rick. If you look at the back, that's going to be the firing pin. And when you're ready to shoot, that will extend out when you hit the cocker and decock. To take it apart is very simple. The only thing you have to do is you're going to press this button. You're going to come back just a little bit while lifting on the back of the slide. And when you do this, it's going to look very familiar to you, because you might have seen some other older pistols that have this fixed barrel design like this. It's one of the reasons why it makes it so accurate, because you don't have that movement from a tilting block or a tilting barrel. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it with the light and everything else. I don't know if it's possible to see that fluted chamber. This pulls the striker back to get it ready, and then you pull the trigger to let that drop forwards. We're not going to do that, but that's how that cocking, decocking mechanism works. It does take quite a bit of strength to pull this back. I don't see a young child pulling this and firing at the same time. I'm going to talk about the slide now. So you have this spring that goes over the barrel itself. Here's this. And guys, attached to the front of the slide, you'll see this is pinned, and then that is the piston system for that delayed blowback. Very, very reliable. You're going to see a lot of welding that goes on inside of here. Very costly pistol to make, just because of the tolerances and everything else. Now, on this back side here, this right here is how you would get the firing pin out. There's an easy way to do this, and most of your other pistols, your P7 M8s, if you're used to it, seeing it, this will not be flush like this. On this P7, it's flush. On the other ones, it kind of extends out, and you can take your thumb and then rotate it. All right, guys, so to get the firing pin out, what I do is I squeeze the decock, or the cocker here. I squeeze it just slightly, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this piece around. When I say this piece, we're talking about this here. And because it is inset on this pistol, it's a little harder to get to than most of your P7s. Once you rotate it 90 degrees, you squeeze the cocking mechanism, and then you can just grab that and pull it out. You'll notice that looks vaguely familiar. That almost looks like something out of a Glock or a striker-fired pistol of modern age. But that's how that works. And to put it back in, you'll see a slot here on the right side. You just make sure that that slot lines up. Once I put it in, all I'm going to do is rotate this back up to the straight up and down position, and then it is ready to go. So like that, it's together. That was it. That's the full disassembly. Now, if you take these grip panels off, there's a lot of springs and everything underneath there. Very reliable pistol. I've never had one of these jam or malfunction on me. Rick was actually asking me where the brass was landing because he had a canvas out here. And guys, this is like typical HK. It throws the brass forever and a day away, but fun little pistol. Typical 5-shot group at 15 yards with the HK P7. Just like I was telling Rick, this pistol actually shoots to the left. We'll come up here. It actually put 3 shots in one hole.
That's why I kept missing.
Yeah, that was it. So I had a 3-shot group here, and then the 4th shot, and then the 5th shot. But remember, it's a pistol from 1979 or 1987, I believe it is. Great accuracy. It is difficult to have one of these threaded to be able to use the suppressor. There's a lot of cost involved to have that done because you have to remove the barrel. Company has to do that, put another one in. It's got to be extended and threaded. So it's one of those things. It's not going to be easy to do that. Great pistol, but you want to make sure you have the box. You also want to make sure that it's serial numbered to the gun. You also want to make sure that you have the owner's manual. your brush for cleaning the gas system out. It'll also have a scraper tool for cleaning the carbon out, some other tools for taking the striker out, firing pin if you will. But that all adds to the overall value of the pistol. Like I said, I wanted to share it with you guys and let you see it. I love these things. Got a lot of them. Just, you don't ever want to sell these things. I believe here in the near future, you're going to see these things get in the $4,000 and $5,000 range as we get older and older. I did sell it and I regret it. I had a P7 K3, which was chambered in 380, but I also had the other calibers and slides for it for 22 and everything else. So if you run across one of those are like hen's teeth. Those are bringing upwards of $5,000 now. Let's get this thing in Rick's hands.
Hen's teeth.
Hen's teeth. Hen don't have teeth.
What? Where does that come from? Where do you come up with this stuff?
Boy, let me tell you one thing. I'm from the country, all right? If I talk like I normally talk, y'all wouldn't watch my videos. So, Rick, let's come over here and shoot this pistol.
So, don't forget about your hen's teeth, because...
Refined is a better word.
All right. Well, first off, comfort. Let's see here.
Now, guys, because it does have that piston, if you shoot this a lot, it gets hot in your hand.
You can feel it.
Yeah, the P7 M8, they put a heat shield on there, but it still gets hot. But this area right in here will get warm just from me shooting those 2 mags. He can already feel the heat transferring. So you do 100 round.
I feel that heat.
You do 100 rounds in this thing quickly.
All right.
You're going to feel it.
All right, first time shooting this thing, so I like the grip angle.
The grip angle is 110 degrees on this, so if you're used to something like a Glock,
no, this feels like 109.8.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's try this thing out.
Light trigger. Has a 3-dot system. You can get tritium night sights for them. Not bad. Be smooth. It's a very light trigger. Oh, a little low. Sights might be off just a hair. I would aim a little right and up. Doesn't matter what we put in his hands.
Man, that is hot. All right, so it is unloaded, but I do want to show you this, and it could just be me. I do feel like right here is a hot spot, right where that sharp edge is.
Yep.
I could be holding it low, too high up.
Yeah. You got to remember, that's a pistol from the late 70s. They tried to do what they could do to smooth out the edges, but yeah, there is a sharp spot down there. Yeah, this magazine is 1979.
Oh, I just got hit.
Coil light.
It's different than most of my pistols.
Recoil impulse is sharp. It's almost immediate.
So we didn't have the mag in it before, but here's a...
Really? Nice. That's why I don't bring the nice stuff out when he's around. No, I'm not cutting that either. That's going to stay on the video.
All right, let's do it this way.
Now, don't drop the gun now, all right?
Here we go.
Well, guys, hope you enjoyed the review. Rick, thanks for coming out and dropping my magazine.
Yeah, anytime.
Always a pleasure. We're recording all this video on the new iPhone 11 Pro Max. So I want to see if there's a difference. I've never recorded anything but my iPhone. I've never used any other cameras or anything else. I do all the editing on the iPhone. So I want to see if there's a difference here. I figured I could justify it by making these videos.
I think we should edit that out.
No, that's staying. Guys, like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. If you haven't seen Rick over at Is Your Six Covered or John over at KB32 Tactical, go check them out. Great guys. And the guys that got me started in YouTube. Thanks for all the support and you guys watching. Have a great afternoon.
That never happened. That was a planned exercise.